hormonal disruptors, plastics, pesticides. Okay, here's the two categories when we talk about estrogen dominance. That's the over-accumulation of different kinds of estrogens. Obviously, for women, natural estrogen production is a good thing. That's the kind of the difference between men and women, right? The problem is the synthetic estrogens, the fake estrogens that have a huge, a very devastating effect on just our body in general, right? There's xenoestrogens and there's phytoestrogens. Xenoestrogens are synthetics. So they're basically like plastic is the number one. Then there's pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, insecticides, all that stuff is all xenoestrogens. Those are very big hormonal disruptors. Men, this one right here, there's a feminization that's going on in our society right now. In the masculine, right? We've heard, like, if you're into the spiritual kind of woo-woo kind of thing, I say it very, very gently because I am, and I've been there. But there's kind of this thing that happens where there's like a feminization. Verbally, like you see it in the communication, like the women, have you kind of felt this at all? Like men are not quite, and I say that generally, so no, don't come after me afterwards, please. But just as a general thing in our society, like men are not being men anymore. Whatever that means, I don't know what that means, but just like the masculine, the assertive, the power, the confidence, like there's a deconstructing of that going on. There's a lot of psychological stuff we're promoting, like the politicians and the media tell us that we need to be less assertive and we need to lower it a little. Like that's the whole testosterone thing, right? That's the brainwashing. But real on a chemical level that's happening. Like men are developing breasts, right? That has to do with obesity, by the way. The more excess weight you develop, the more estrogen dominant you become. So if there's any motivation for people to start really like getting back into their fitness, getting back into their natural body weight, this estrogen thing, man, it's huge because now we notice there's like a 50% reduction in sperm count right now. Statistically, it's probably more than that. It's probably, I mean, it's definitely going up. It's not going down, right? It's going up. Less ability to conceive a child is going higher and higher. I have a radio show, by the way. And I'll give out my cards at the end of this. It's called the Expanded Health and Human Potential Radio Show. And I do my own podcast, and I interview literally the top experts and specialists in the field of health and like human potential. I interviewed Dr. Roy Dittman, and he is probably the world's foremost expert on pregnancy, on childbirth, and child development. We had an hour-and-a-half long discussion on the radio, and we're getting into all this stuff. I'm like, what is going on? There's a 50% reduction in sperm count. And he's going into all of it. It's the stuff that I'm talking about. It's these estrogen, these xenoestrogens, the toxins, like the heavy metals, the mercury. Very big one. If anyone has any kind of mercury amalgam fillings, you need to be investigating a holistic, not a conventional dentist. That's where the problem started, but a holistic dentist. Just putting that out there. And so, like, and then, you know, that obviously it goes into its own talk. So just understanding that is really key to me. The 4 channels of elimination are really what's important to understand when we talk about detoxification. We don't just eliminate through this long tube that starts from here and goes out the other end. That's one big long tube, like 36-foot long tube. But really, there's 4 channels we eliminate from. There's the colon, which is, you know, elimination. There's the kidneys, which is filtration and urination. Those are like in detoxification lingo. There's like soft toxins and hard toxins. We generally eliminate the hard toxins through our fecal matter, like shoveling that stuff out. Then there's soft toxins which come out through like our urine. They come out through our skin, that's perspiration. This is why being in the sun is really important. Being like, trying to get naked in the sun, really, if you can. If you have a backyard, if you have a patio, you know, find a beach, something, just to get more skin exposure to the sun. Definitely working out is huge. That's why fitness, you know, people can sustain, like professional athletes, it's interesting how far they can go on the conventional diet, because certain aspects of elimination are being utilized, right? Through sweating, through, you know, the more activity you do, you are going to increase bowel movement, that kind of thing. So fitness fits very, my opinion on diet at this point is that I don't care what diet it is, it doesn't work unless you are fit. Like Aristotle said, you have to be fit in order to think, right? Brain chemistry has a lot to do with like being fit. So you have to tie those two in somehow. The other organ of elimination is your lungs. So breathing. We breathe in toxins, we have to breathe them out too. So when I wake up, I like to do like a breathing exercise, which is just like, is just expelling, pushing stuff out, right? You'll notice if you wake up in the morning and you stick your tongue out in the mirror, you might notice a white film on your tongue. The Chinese are very clear on this, and they would actually, you know, Chinese medicine likes to look at people's tongue to tell what's going on in the body. It's said that your tongue is the mirror of, you know, your health. You can get a tongue scraper, and you scrape off all that film. That's basically metabolic waste material that just goes on your tongue when your mouth is closed when you sleep. You can scrape all that stuff off. And when I found out about that, it gave me a whole new perspective on kissing. I was like, oh man. Okay, so like I would say, like if you meet someone, you know, you meet that special person, it's like you gotta have that conversation. Like the best gift is right. Well, I mean, the best gift on a first date is not roses. It's not. It might be chocolate. Really, it's a tongue scraper. And I mean, you know, use your own common sense with that one. But if you're a woman, you'll have more leeway with that.